From 7, a British hospital closes its emergency department over an outbreak of the MERS virus. Madeleine McCann's name is linked to a body found in a suitcase in Australia. And Lord Sewell, the gift that keeps on giving, is up to no good again. US correspondent Melissa Davies, UK obviously, correspondent Melissa Davies joins me now. Melissa, great to have you on. All right, Manchester Hospital in lockdown.
Yeah, they've had to close their A&E department. It has actually just reopened, but they had to shut it down because there were 2 patients they suspected had MERS. This is the Middle Eastern Respiratory Virus Syndrome, and it's much like SARS. If you remember, there was that scare a few years ago about SARS, but this is more fatal. 36% of MERS cases end in a fatality. So those 2 patients in Manchester are being tested at the moment. They have been removed from the A&E site, and the reason they've been able to open up is because they've had some kind of deep clean and isolated those patients. But there have been 4 cases in Britain so far, and 3 of those have died. But it's far worse in other countries, particularly Saudi Arabia, where it was first discovered, I guess.
So the thing with MERS is it is far more dangerous than SARS, but it is far harder to contract, isn't it? I think it doesn't spread anywhere near as easily.
No, it doesn't pass from person to person easily unless there's some very close contact. So health authorities... A camel?
Well, it comes from camels, doesn't it? It comes from camels. I don't know. And so I don't know how hard it is to get, but if you don't have any camels at Manchester Hospital, which I assume you don't, it might be okay.
I don't. If there were, I might have changed the topic to talk to you about today.
Camels loose at Manchester Hospital. Yeah, obviously, you're right, of course. All right, we don't want to make light of this, but it is quite hard to get.
The authorities are saying don't worry too much.
Yeah. All right, Madeleine McCann. I mean, this is interesting, isn't it? We've been talking about this morning. So this body of a child, coincidentally, the right sort of age and with some similarities to Madeleine McCann, has been discovered in Australia.
Yes, and so I guess the first thing that police there were asked about is, could this be the body of Madeleine McCann? Because as a 2 to 4-year-old child, believed to have been killed anywhere up to 8 years ago, and of course that's when Madeleine McCann disappeared. Now, Australian authorities have said that that would just be pure speculation. There's no evidence to suggest that this could be Madeleine McCann. I called police here in the UK today, and they're being quite cautious about what they say about this. They have said that they're aware of the story and that they have contacted Australian authorities, but that's all they're going to say at this stage. But I find that quite interesting in itself, the fact that they have contacted Australian authorities, which they wouldn't always do in a missing person case or a case like this. They haven't ruled it out, but I think they're very careful not to arouse kind of any speculation that this could certainly be Madeleine McCann. They're certainly saying that's not the case. Yeah,
I mean, it would be extraordinary if it was, because if you were going to transport a child halfway around the world, you would think you would be looking after the child. You know what I mean? It would be extraordinary, but obviously we're following this with a lot of interest. All right, Lord Sewell, the gift that keeps on giving.
I think the reason it is quite mysterious too is that Australian police have said that they've looked back at missing persons records and there is no child that has been reported to be missing. So that's why it's been a bit mysterious.
Absolutely. As I say, we will follow it. So Lord Sewell, now, up until yesterday, it was just a simple matter of Lord Sewell snorting cocaine off naked prostitutes. But now it's become much, much more murky, as we find out Lord Sewell was sometimes doing this wearing an orange bra and a leather jacket.
Yes, this is the new picture that has been published today of Lord Sewell. He's smoking, he's wearing a prostitute's orange bra and a leather jacket and not much else, it seems. He's also being filmed talking about the Prime Minister here, David Cameron, saying that he's facile, he's false, superficial. So that hasn't really done him any favours in terms of David Cameron's response, because he's saying no. He's saying, well, you must resign from the House of Lords, from peerage, which he has refused to do. He has resigned from his posts, but he's refusing to resign as a Lord at this stage, and that means he can still claim up to £300 in allowances each day. which people aren't too happy about. But in a story about the Palace of Westminster as well, perhaps slightly linked, there's been Official Information Act figures released which show that in 2014, so last year, there was a total of 250,000 attempts to access websites which they classify as pornography. So that equates to about 700 attempts per day, and some of those will be pop-ups,
all be Lord
so
Sewell.
it could be overestimating. No,
All
exactly.
Right. All
He
right,
would be a very busy man otherwise.
All right, thank you very much, Melissa. Melissa Davies, our UK correspondent.